This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Have you heard about T-Mobile Home Internet Lite? Yes, Internet Lite. Someone actually thought making light internet was a good idea. What does Internet Lite mean? It means it's internet, but not full-on internet. It means when you hit your allotted data, you get throttled to dial up like speeds from the 90s. And that means you can be downloading a video game and boom, you get throttled. Nobody wants that. You want strong, fast, reliable internet. You want Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFAX.
If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
Welcome to the AI Hustle Podcast, the podcast where we break down the latest in AI news, tools, and interview experts helping you hustle and do more using AI. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you'll know that over the last 6 months, I've been working on a stealth AI startup. Of the hundreds of projects I've covered, this is the one that I believe has the greatest potential. So today I'm excited to announce AI Box. AI Box is a no-code AI app building platform paired with the App Store for AI that lets you monetize your AI tools. The platform lets you build apps by linking together AI models like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and 11 Labs. Eventually will integrate with software like Gmail, Trello, and Salesforce, so you can use AI to automate every function in your organization. To get notified when we launch and be one of the first to build on the platform, you can join the waitlist at aibox.ai. The link is in the show notes. We are currently raising a seed round of funding. If you're an investor that is focused on disruptive tech, I'd love to tell you more about the platform. You can reach out to me at jaden@aibox.ai. I'll leave that email in the show notes. Elon Musk once again makes an appearance in the AI space. Yesterday, he unveiled X.AI, which is his new AI startup. A lot of people are saying that this is kind of him trying to get back into the AI space after, famously he helped co-found OpenAI. He was one of the major funders at the beginning. He kind of put the original team together on building OpenAI with the vision being, a counter Google company that would be able to kind of act as a counterweight, an open source company against Google's very closed source AI acquisition of Deepmind. So, of course, that did not pan out exactly how we want. He's been pretty vocal in criticizing OpenAI for becoming a for-profit company, getting deep backers from Microsoft instead of trying to be an open source platform, giving, open source free AI to everyone in the world, which was more of his vision at the beginning. So because of that, it looks like he is starting and jumping back into the AI space with X.AI. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about what is going on, what he's planning on building, what he's publicly said about this, and where we expect to see this in the future. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. I think what's important to know is just the caliber of the team that they've assembled here for X.AI, who's kind of in charge of it, who's running it, and what they've worked on in the past. So, of course, the X.AI team is being directed by Elon Musk, but it compromises a team of a lot of industry veterans who've previously had their hands in operations at a lot of top-tier research institutions and companies. So they have people from Deepmind, OpenAI, Google Research, Microsoft Research, Tesla, and the University of Toronto. And the team has made significant contributions to the field. So they've actually worked on the atom optimizer, batch normalization, layer normalization, and adversarial examples. But they've also been really instrumental in the development of innovative techniques such as transformers XL, auto-formalization, the memorizing transformer, batch size scaling, and U-transfer. And they've also had involvement with AlphaStar, AlphaCode, Inception, Minavera, GPT 3.5, and GPT 4.4. So I think part of the vision here is that Elon Musk says he would like to build a safer AI. He recently on Twitter, he did a Twitter Spaces kind of talking about the future of AI and unveiling this new company. And during that, he shared a little bit of his vision for quote unquote safer AI. He said that the secret sauce for this is not programming an explicit moral code into the AI, but the plan is to cultivate an AI that is quote unquote maximally curious. Now, I, for one, have slight problems with this. As you know, if you followed any of my reporting on Inflection AI, I'd be curious to see if that was the approach they took with Inflection AI. But whatever their approach was, it led to Inflection AI having an ideology that was focused on, valuing the life of an animal above the life of a human and some other problematic issues. But apparently this is sort of an issue that Musk is worried about, but I'm just hoping that the approach he's taking is actually going to get the desired outcome. What he said, quote unquote, is, in terms of AI safety, the best thing I can think of is an AI that is passionately committed to understanding the true nature of the universe. This would be pro-humanity, as humans are far more interesting than non-humans. Now, that sounds good, but what if, an AI found dolphins to be the most interesting species on the planet and everything they did was far more interesting than humans? I mean, obviously, humans have built a lot more, they have a lot more control over the planet, arguably, so perhaps AI would be more interested in humans, but I just think it's a little bit sketchy to have your premise just for the AI to be curious and, whatever's the most interesting, that's what your priorities are. If I were running this thing, I would have a pretty hard set. Humans are the most important, and now explore. But it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I am not an expert AI researcher or AI model trainer, so what do I know, right? In any case, additionally, Elon Musk surprised people with his forecast for superintelligence. He said that AI that surpasses human intelligence is only 5 or 6 years away, which I think is very interesting. A lot of people were surprised by that and, had speculations that it was much, much further down the road. I think with ChatGPT and a lot of other technologies coming to the forefront and having a lot of people use these AI systems, we're starting to see some of the power. And I think something that I've recently talked about is quantum computers and the new announcements from Google with quantum computers. If you haven't listened to that episode, I think that was my last one, so make sure to do that. But there are some massive implications for being able to speed up the power of AI. And so based off of that, I think it'd be hard to argue that superintelligence is, further away than 4 or 5 years. I think it's definitely very feasible. Prior to this, obviously, Elon Musk, he co-founded OpenAI back in 2015, but he actually stepped away from the company's board in 2018. He said it was because of conflicts of interest with Tesla and their AI programs, but a lot of people said it was because he didn't like the leadership and kind of where the company was going. I think it's worth noting that Microsoft is a pretty heavy investor in OpenAI. They've given them over $11 billion to date. And so that may have been where a lot of the tension between Elon Musk and OpenAI is at and coming from today. In the lineup for X.AI, we have the likes of Igor Babushkin, an ex-engineer from Google's Deepmind. We have Tony Wu and Christian Szusgety from Google and Greg Yang from Microsoft. In a really intriguing move earlier this year, Elon Musk registered a firm called X.AI Corp in Nevada. And so that had a lot of people speculating about what his move with AI was going to be. Evidently, it was for this. And he had the company listing Elon as the sole director and Jared Birchall as the managing director, which is essentially the managing director of Musk's family office, and it had him listed as a secretary. So in April, Elon also was kind of in the news around AI, mentioning his plans to introduce Truth GPT, which is, as he says, an AI model designed to compete with Google's Bard and Microsoft's Bing AI, which he said would be a truthful version of those. And he said that it would be striving to comprehend the universe's nature. But the spotlight really turned on generative AI when OpenAI rolled out the whole ChatGPT chatbot in November. Got this whole area really on fire, launched kind of this AI revolution we have. And I think that made it played a big role, I believe, in him kind of turning his sights to AI and starting to focus on this new company. On board to offer his expertise to the X.AI team is Dan Hendricks, who is currently the director of the Center for AI Safety, whose work is centered on AI risks, and he is on the board. He's an advisor for this company. Now, what is really interesting is this is called X.AI, and for those that are follow Tesla or actually follow Twitter closely, they'll know that Twitter recently changed its parent company to be called X Corp. So while X.AI operates independently of X Corp, there is an interesting connection. I think the website X.AI recently revealed that X.AI plans to collaborate really closely with Twitter, Tesla, and other companies. And so I think that, this kind of makes a lot of sense. Elon has a lot of different businesses, and he has the capabilities to help an AI company immensely. And so I think he's going to leverage his different companies to obviously start this new one. And if you think about it, Tesla has obviously very advanced AI models with their self-driving car. And because of that, they've built a very powerful supercomputer called Dojo. And so with the experience of Tesla and their supercomputers, and then with the experience of Twitter having this one of the largest social data sets in the world, I think that this is going to be essentially the two components that are really critical to making this company successful. He's not going to have to go get permission from a bunch of companies to scrape all of their data, although I'm sure that will be a part of the company. But regardless, the data set that Twitter has is going to be pretty powerful in providing the initial data, I imagine. And then I'm sure Tesla is going to help supporting with the talent needed and some of the resources as far as supercomputers go and whatnot. So it'll be really interesting to see how he's able to pull this off, what the collaborations look like. And like I said, I'll be really curious to follow, what a maximally curious AI model does, and to see if it really does, if it really is pro-humanity. I assume, that's something that they're looking at closely and trying to integrate in if he's obviously talking about it publicly, but, you definitely want to verify that. So whenever this thing launches, I will be reviewing it and giving you guys another update on what it does, and making sure that this thing actually is pro-humanity, which in my opinion is one of my big, one of my big causes in AI, one of the things I champion, and I think is very important in the future. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Hustle podcast. If you could do us a massive favor, we would really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps people find the podcast. It helps people know this is a good place to go. And we would really, really appreciate it, as it helps us continue to bring on incredible guests and share incredible content for you to listen to.